Hello everybody, Season 19 for Diablo 3 has launched, and I'm here, like I always am, to teach you the quickest way to get your seasonal journey completed, which you're going to want to do this season because you get this awesome material pet and this really cool portrait frame only for completing the final step, though. You complete everything else, you won't get it. You have to complete Guardian this season in order to get the material pet and the portrait frame. The good news is it is the easiest season that we've ever had to complete from start to finish. And that is because of the way that the seasonal buff works and how the conquests are laid out. So as normal, you have your chapter 1 through 4 stuff, which is really easy to do. You know, like chapter 1, socket 5 gems into your gear. You could take your gems out with the jeweler and put them back in, do all that kind of stuff. Raise the jeweler to 10, the mystic to 10, kill Rakanoth, Azul, reach level 50, right? Like chapter 1 is going to be really easy for you to complete. Chapter 2 is when you get your first set piece, your first 2 pieces from your Hadrig's gift. This one obviously requires you to be level 70. And you have to kill Cydia at 60 or higher on hard, and Siegebreaker for the same thing. You have to craft a level 70 ring or amulet, transmogrify an item at the Mystic, get a go and enchant your gear with the Mystic and stuff like that. Like this one is really easy to do. It's not going to take you very long to get your first 2 pieces once you hit 70. Now, I typically in these videos suggest, because chapter 4 has a very specific set of things that you need to do. They want you to get 5 blacksmith and jewel crafting recipes. And normally I go and suggest, you know, how to go do that and the quickest way to level, and doing your bounties like around level 50 to 60 in that range, depending on when you want to start them, and then turning them in once you hit 70. Don't turn them in before. Once you hit 70, you turn them in and you'll get your 5 jewel crafting recipes, and you will also go through and do these bounty cache stuff for chapter 3 as well. So you get like 2 birds with 1 stone out of the way even before you hit level 70, because you've already done those and have them ready to turn in once you hit 70. Now, obviously, don't leave the game if you haven't turned them in yet, but just as a heads up, like that's a good way to do it. And if you want to know the quickest way to get to 70 and the most efficient way to start your seasonal journey, I made a guide that I will link to in the description and in the comments that is basically the ultimate seasonal start guide. If it ever goes out of out of date, I will go and put a new one up for you guys to be able to check that out. So go check that guide out if you want to know the best way to get to 70 if you're just now starting, especially if you're like jumping into the season on console and stuff, because I have now started playing the game on console, so I know quite a bit about the little tricks and stuff that you could do on console versus PC. For example, on console, kill streaks work in rifts. So this next, for all of season 19, getting to max level on console is the easiest done while in rifts because of the seasonal buff. Now the seasonal buff will make it so anytime you kill a monster, it adds like a massacre bonus. And once you hit certain numbers like 50, 100, 200, and so on and so forth, you'll get really big massacre bonuses that happen on your screen, like angels coming down to kill everything, or, you know, shooting out the big tornadoes that Zoltan Cool like puts on the ground when you're fighting him. Like there's some really cool stuff that happens while you're doing your seasonal journey, or while you're playing in the season. But of course, non-seasonal characters don't get this buff. So for season 19, it is really quick to level using the massacres through greater rifts, or for just doing massacre bonuses outside on PC. But again, check out that guide if you're interested in the quickest way to level. Now, for your seasonal journey and getting it completed on PC, it's easy, by the way. You could just open it up. Shift J does that, or on controller for Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo. It's one of the D-pads. I'm not sure which one it is on the Nintendo Switch, but for the Xbox and for the PlayStation, I think it's left on the D-pad. Will open up your seasonal journey at any point. So with that in mind, you can get your chapter 4 done really quick this season. I don't, like I said, with my guide, I don't really have any other suggestions on getting there except for doing your key wardens at level 70 on Torment 4 and getting them done real quick. You don't actually have to kill the uber bosses on this chapter yet. You will have to later, and you will also have to craft a Hellfire amulet, which kind of comes from that. So it all kind of works together, but you don't have to do that right away. You could just kind of do this once you get a couple pieces of your gear, so you're actually able to run Torment 4, which for the most part, every class should be able to do. There are some exceptions this season, like the monk kind of struggles with just 4 pieces of their set as opposed to the full 6 pieces, but you know, Barb, you're going to be running around doing a bunch of damage because the Wrath of the Way set got buffed. And there are a new set or 2 new sets for the Monk and for the Crusader. One focuses on Sweeping Winds for the Monk and Tempest Rush, and the other one for the Barb focuses on Heaven's Fury and Fist of the Heavens. You don't get those as your seasonal journey thing, though. So if you want to play those new sets, you have to go farm them, but they're really powerful. I would suggest doing it. So you get through to the end of this, you get your 6-piece bonus, you get your blacksmith recipes and your jewelcraft recipes from doing the cool little trick that we mentioned before. Then you jump into Slayer. This one has a coherent theme all the way through it that you're going to see, which is when you complete one of these things for your Guardian, you're basically completing them all for everything else. What I mean by this is, like, this one says level 1 legendary gem to 25, but if you level 3 up to 70, you already get the 25 one, obviously. So we're mostly going to focus on Guardian here because that's where you're going to get these cool items for this season. So in particular, you want to finish a level 70 Nephilim Rift on Torment 13. Notice that does not say Torment 16, so you can do it on Torment 13 within 4 minutes. Super easy to do. You know, like the new Monk set could blast through. Obviously the new Barbarian Wrath of the Waste upgrades are able to do that. So you got that. Level 3 gems to 70. By the way, by doing this, you are going to complete a conquest. We'll talk about the conquest in a moment, but they're all really easy to do because they're already tied into what you're doing in the game this season. So level 3 gems to 70, which will complete one of your 3 conquests you need. Kill Asmodan at level 70 in under 20 seconds on Torment 13. You don't have to do this on Torment 16. So that is super easy to do as well. Every class can do that without any issues with all of their sets, as long as you're running the 6 set bonuses. Reach Greater Rift 70 solo. Really easy. That also, by the way, will tie into another conquest. We'll get there in just a moment. And extract 40 powers using Kanai's Cube. For the extracting powers, I suggest once you've finished everything else, this is one of the last things that you do. Unless you really have to farm out bounties. Like if you're getting bad luck on getting your Ring of Royal Grandeur and you need that for one of your builds and you're trying to farm Act 1 bounties, just go join a public game for bounties at the highest difficulty that you can solo with 3 other people in the game, and just go do split bounties with them. You join the public game to go do bounties. Everybody branches off, does them all, comes back, gets all their stuff together, and then you open up all the caches and you get all of your stuff. You only need to do this on Torment 16 like 3 to 4 times in order to have enough to actually extract 40 powers. But the thing is, it's really easy to do. So let's go back one to Conqueror, because there is another boss kill here. You want to kill Greed on Torment 13. That is really easy to do if you just go get a puzzle ring and put it in the cube and with nothing else in it, and you transmute it, or on console it'll have like 3 little question marks on the list. You select that and it'll open up a vault to Greed's realm. Now that is nice and easy to do. The other thing here though is kill Gome at 70 in under 30 seconds on Torment 13. So just like the Asmodan one, really easy to do because you could just do it on Torment 13. Again, every class can solo that with every single set in the game currently. Also, this one requires 2 conquests, but like we said, Guardian will do the 3, so we're not going to really worry about that. Let's take a look at the seasonal conquests real quick, because these are the 3 that you're going to want to complete because they're stupid easy. As I said, if you want to get the cool pet and the portrait, you're going to need to complete all of your seasonal journey, which means you have to level 3 legendary gems to level 70. So you're going to complete on a good day, or depending on if you're running hardcore or not, I can't stop. You're going to complete those just naturally completing your seasonal journey. So boom, you already have 1 conquest out of the way. Really easy, right? Then you have to do a Greater Rift 75 solo. again, every class in the game with every single set can do this. It's not an issue. So basically just, do your 70 solo that you have to do for your seasonal journey, and then go do a 75. Just work your way up to a 75. If you're having issues with that, upgrade your legendary gems, use your legendary gems you're getting for on a good day. And then the final one that I suggest doing this season is the Thrill, which is reach Greater Rift 45 solo without any set items equipped. This is easily done by using the new Legacy of Dreams gem. This has been in the game for a season now, and essentially what will happen is you'll do your Greater Rifts, and it will drop pretty early within the drop rate of legendary gems, and just level that one up to whatever you want to use it at. So if you think that you could do it with it just being at level 25, then any ancient item you have equipped will have the double bonus on this crazy good gem. But if you're not really that worried about it, then you just do it at whichever level the gem will work at. But the gem is going to help you be able to complete this really, really easily. But if you're struggling with it, my suggestion is get the gem up a bunch. It will give you the amount of damage and damage reduction you need in order to go and do this conquest without any issues. The other conquest that you could do is Avarice. I have a guide that I'm going to link again in the description and in the comments. If you want to complete Avarice, I have a full guide for it. So it's really easy to do. It just requires a bit of setup in order to do it. The final one is Sprinter, which honestly, at this point in this season, unless you really want to do it, don't even bother, because these three are super easy to do. And if you want to complete Avarice, then that's cool. But outside of that, Sprinter is just a cherry on top. You don't need to complete it in order to complete your season. In previous seasons, it was a pretty good option based on the other ones there, but this season it's just so easy that you don't even have to worry about it. The very final thing that I would suggest that I talk about every season is in regards to killing one of your gems. It's sad, but you do have to do it for one of the upgrades. So you have to use Kanai's Cube to augment an ancient legendary item with a 50 plus gem in order to complete Conqueror. So get your 3 gems to 70, which you will need to do for Guardian. If you're just trying to look to get these as quickly as possible and not actually look to continue on the seasonal leaderboard and continue with that, just get the 3 gems to 70, take one of those 70 gems, and then go to Kanai's Cube and do your augment. It will require 3 of the royal gems that you'll need, for whatever stat you're looking for. So if you're playing like a barbarian, you're going to use rubies. If you're playing a monk, you're going to use emeralds, so on and so forth. So you go and do your augment on an ancient item, and then that will complete that. So you're going to use, again, one of your level 70 gems that you're getting up for Guardian. Outside of that, like I said, this season is really easy to do between the seasonal theme, the buffs that have come in, and the new sets that have come in, and also just the fact that the conquests are really easy to do this season. So if you want to get this pet and this really cool portrait frame, make sure you go and get it done as soon as possible, because there's plenty of people playing right now. Awesome season 19 stuff is here, and next season we're going to get 2 more new additional sets for 2 different classes, and I'm sure we're going to have another really cool set of cosmetic stuff for that seasonal reward too. But with all that being said, thank you guys very much for watching, and we shall see you guys next time.